All right, let's check out the quality of the stream. Checking out the quality of the stream. Thank you everybody for joining this week, coming in. Let's put you over there. Let's see what we can do. Checking out the audio. Trying to get some party chat going here. We're going to see if we have some guests on the show this week.
Attention, the storm shield is getting smaller.
1 second.
Get to the hotel and take cover.
How's everybody doing? We're in some Save the World while we discuss some of the benefits to making money in the metaverse. How we like that? How we like that? Is that a good shot? That's a good shot. It's okay. It's okay shot. Not bad. Yeah, this week we'll be talking about making money in the metaverse. Some different tips, some things that we're seeing. There's a lot of talk about this stuff that honestly is just people trying to run website articles and get clicks and stuff and ads, and they're not really having a real honest conversation. What is the reality of this stuff? I'm going to have some guests on, hopefully, that are going to have some pretty much a realistic approach, something that's modest, something that makes sense, and also discuss some of the ways it could go, bigger than that. But, when it comes to anything new, any kind of new venture, you have to kind of hedge your expectations, but also don't look at it as if it's not worth your time and energy. There's lots of different things that you should be excited about. There we go. So we are there, and we are live. Oh, I'm probably going to get kicked out the game. Kill a chicken. Kill these chickens so they know I mean business. Alright. So yeah. We have this one match we're going to end here. And we're in Fortnite because that's pretty much what we're going to be streaming on the weekends when we're on the week when we do the live stream. But, the main question I wanted to present to everybody is, do you really understand what the metaverse is, and are you doing anything to prepare for it? Because I think if you're looking for any kind of way to make money in the near future, let me drop some of that audio down, because those guns are really loud. If you're looking for ways to make money in the near future, it's going to be in the metaverse. It's going to be a place where, everything will find an equilibrium, but it's going to be a hot spot, kind of like when the internet first came out and it was like the dot-com bubble, right? You're going to have that kind of same situation, but in a different way. And that's what we have to discuss. We're going to discuss kind of the realities of what this is, what's basically in store for everybody, right? Because there's a lot of misinformation, and I have some suggestions which I believe are really the ways to go about how to handle this, the way you can have, good gains and minimum loss or minimum risk when it comes to how you would do this. Some people are, going all in and trying to start, entire companies where they're building all these things and entering the metaverse. I see people investing, supposedly buying property, and some of the more popular metaverse brands, like the Sandbox is a metaverse platform. Another one, I think it's not Disneyland, but it's something like that, where I think Snoop Dogg bought some property there. The problem with those things, like the real estate aspect of it, is, if people don't go to these platforms, when kids decide, I'm logging into the metaverse, I'm going to go, be on the Sandbox, or I'm going to go be on Epic, if I'm going to go be on Fortnite, I'm going to go be on the metaverse, I'm going to log in with my Oculus. If there's no people there, then how much are these things really worth? Because those other platforms like the Sandbox, and I think the other thing is called it's not Disneyland, but it's something like Disneyland. I don't see people using this. This isn't much more different than we had a metaverse kind of early, back in the 90s and early 2000s, where people called Second Life. There were people that were making money in Second Life. Some people were supporting themselves. I don't know if they're still making money in Second Life. Maybe. Maybe Second Life will see a resurgence. It has a foundation. Perhaps we'll see a resurgence when it comes to the metaverse. I don't know. But my point is that it was small scale, right? It was very small situations where they were selling very rough concepts of digital items to people. People are talking about NFTs now, but they were selling things back then like digital clothing, digital homes, even like little areas they would build, little worlds they would build. I've been in Second Life. I've been to virtual mansions where players were kind of hanging out in very crude, very, very early on, compared to
I think I have an idea.
Oh, spooky. Compared to what you're seeing with the reality
Another night
of,
without getting sleep.
you know, these new spaces will have better graphics and better things, but like they sell digital items.
A great deal of soul searching.
I am too tired
I have a
to care
feeling
about
that
your
I'm like
or
talking
anybody
over their
else's
story,
soul.
and I
Just
can't mute
do the
them.
thing.
I
Can't mute
will
them.
do
Oh,
the
look at
thing.
that skin.
The thing that is Willow, little help.
Let's
Finding
leave
spirit
save the
boards.
world. There we go. All right. Yeah. So when it comes to the concept of like, you know, where do people go? Do people play Apex Legends? Do people play Fortnite? Do people spend more time on TikTok? Do people spend more time on Instagram? If you sell NFTs on Instagram, do people want to have the NFT they purchase and display it on their badge? Or, you know, is by having NFTs there that you earn other places, does that start to, you know, encourage people to go out and get NFTs? Like if you had a cool NFT, would you hang it up on your Instagram profile? Would it be worth it, right? There's still not really much evidence that kids are going to be into these kind of things, but these kind of things are the very like bare minimum, like least amount of effort when it comes to what you can actually have in the metaverse. For example, I don't know if I have the Jordan collabo they did in Fortnite, but like these are the kind of quality items that you see that Epic is obviously making a ton of money off of, right? Now these are Fortnite skins. But these skins are data files. They're data files that you can make, a 3D skin you can make in a free program like Blender. You right now, you can download Blender and start watching tutorials. They have templates. You don't have to make it all from scratch. You can buy like pre-made items and then modify them. So let's say you want like a suit of armor. You usually can find a generic suit of armor and it kind of just, you know, modify it, stretch it out, add some things to it. And there's tons of tutorials, free education, free programs. It doesn't cost you anything to get involved. So if you ever thought like you wanted to make things like with makeup or costumes, and you're like, I don't have the money to get involved, you can start interacting with these things digitally. And then eventually sell them in a space. So like these are all official skins, and Fortnite's obviously proven that people will spend money on digital things if they're actually going to use them, if they're going to be in a space where they're using them. I think that is what's crucial. Hold on real quick. How you looking? So, I think we had some cool, like, this is a cool example of, like, not something that's a character, but this is like the Wu-Tang Fortnite collabo, right? Now, I imagine this is an item made by Epic, but I'm sure Wu-Tang is getting some kind of, you know, royalty or whatever for putting their item in here. And they've already proven that they can have all the big brands inside of here. People will pay for these brands. They'll pay for these characters, right? And this is where they're going when they're going to Fortnite Creative, which we've talked about before on the channel. But let's go take a look at some other real casual experiences. I've showed you some ways that you can play games. But what about environments where you can hang out? I think one of the biggest things that regular people can do, if you don't want to make a video game or you're not interested in that, the idea of maybe creating a store, creating an environment where people can hang out, right? Let's say you want a sneaker store or you want a clothing store. You think, what if you had a clothing store? What would that be like, right? I know I have a sister who she's interested in having a bookstore, right? Which she should definitely have a bookstore. But you know, in the meantime, when you're thinking about saving up money, trying to get attention to your bookstore, there isn't a bookstore in Fortnite Creative. Could you have something that's like a bookstore? What would that be like? What would it be if you had something in Fortnite Creative at a bookstore? We'll just make something up right now, right? So let's look at something like Fishing Legends. Fishing Legends is an experience. You can play fishing, obviously, in here. But if you're playing Fishing Legends, the idea is that you're just coming in here to hang out. You come in here to hang out, and you're going to fish. So I could picture having a digital shop, a store, designed and decorated however you want to. If you don't know how to do it, you can have people help you. You can have then, shelves that you can interact with. And maybe when you interact with that shelf, it shows you a little blurb, a summary of the book that's in the store. And that's a book that you actually have in your real life on your virtual store if you have like an eBay account. Or if then eventually you get to the physical location. If you have a physical store, you're advertising your store on the internet, having a presence on the metaverse. Is that really hard to set up? It's not hard to set up at all. Look at this beautiful aquarium-like place, right? So I'm not going to get up and go to the aquarium in my neighborhood or drive to, I think the best aquarium is a few states away. But this person has created an aquarium-like experience in a fishing game, which you can't do. I can't go to the aquarium and fish. That sounds interesting, but you can't do that there, right? Now, is this going to be better than the aquarium? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this is an experience. Oh, wow, look at this. They actually made an entire map of what the island looks like. That's cool. Fishing port, Grass River, and I can teleport? I've never seen this. This is innovative, right? So I can teleport to an actual real world place based off of, or real metaverse place, right? Based off of the map that was on the screen. And this looks huge. This is actually beautiful, and this is featured by Epic, and it should be featured because this is actually beautiful. I'm really surprised at how big it is. See, most people choose to create small environments, you know, really busy sections where you can fight. This person chose to try to actually paint a landscape with nice trees, nice separations. This is kind of a basic thing when you get into art. They're showing you some color contrast here. It's not the most perfect landscape ever, but again, they did this for free. They did this from the comfort of their own home. They might have used a computer, but you can do this off your PlayStation, off your Xbox, your PS5, your Xbox One. Oh, we got some frogs running around. That's cool. I have a fishing pool. I didn't realize I had a fishing pool. This is actually kind of relaxing. Oh. 5 minutes. Use the remote control to bring back fishes in the aquarium. Small fry. I got a small fry. That's okay. Now, here, this is a fun little game that they've come up with. And this is where people so far are doing in Fortnite Creative. But Fortnite is supposed to move to the next place where everyone calls it Fortnite Creative 2.0, where they eventually will let you make entire game experiences with the Unreal Engine and play those experiences, maybe entirely new games, inside of Fortnite. But you'll be using your skins and characters that you have purchased from Fortnite. Whether that's going to happen or when it's going to happen, that still remains to be seen. But what you can know is that Fortnite has a thing, or Epic has a thing called the Unreal Store. And in the Unreal Store, anyone can make music, pictures, anything that you can sell digital, you can sell it through the Unreal Store. So if you're thinking, well, I don't really know how to do those kind of things. First off, it's not that hard, right? We all didn't know how to take pictures well for Instagram, but now at this point, everyone's pretty comfortable with taking pictures and sharing nice pictures on Instagram. Oh, got some aquarium fishes. Where can I put these guys at? Are these here's some interesting ones here. I got the hop flopper, I think, right? Do I put it here? Where do I put it? Oh, I turn them in here, right? That removes all my fish from the thing. Oh, I got some fish in. Yeah, the hop flopper's there. That's really cool. The Vendetta flopper. I didn't get any credit for the small fries. Maybe some XP. Now maybe I want to go to the fishing port. What's that like? This is awesome. This is a very unique experience. I did not even play this before. So this is a point here, right? Well, now what have you created? You've created a place that has attention. So is there a local fishing shop? If you said, hey, I have Epic featured across the world in Fortnite. I'm featured right now, my map. Want me to advertise your fishing store? There's all kinds of places that you can put up words. You can put up different logos and you can import pictures. There's all kinds of places that you could advertise in your store. Could you convince a local fishing shop to have national advertisements? Maybe they have an online store. Maybe they're located locally, but maybe they also do business online. I happen to live next to a place called the Martial Arts Supply Store, which is probably the biggest #1 martial arts supply website online. I just happen to live next to the warehouse in the showroom. So you can go in there and you can purchase stuff, but they do have a web presence. So if you had a martial arts themed area and it was a fun experience of some sort, where people go there and then you could, advertise that that location, that website, would they be willing to pay you for it? How much would they pay you to be featured into their website? Could you create more traffic for them? What you've now created is a billboard, a virtual billboard. In real life, in my area, I've looked it up. To rent a billboard, for me to rent the billboard, I'm paying the billboard owner maybe $3,000 to $5,000 a month to own just a billboard in one spot. If you're not going down the street, you're not going to see my billboard, right? But if I could pay you Let's say in a digital space, what would you charge me? $20, $30, first month maybe. Maybe if a lot of people get competitive and they actually want it, you'd rack up to $50. You could be making money off of your digital space selling ad space in your creative maps. Because if you get featured on the front page of Fortnite, you see a guy like me, now I'm wandering in here. So let's say I wasn't even thinking about fishing. Maybe now I'm thinking about fishing, and there's some website that's trying to get attention. Maybe it's not the biggest website in the world. You contact them online. You say, hey, I have this Fortnite map I made for fishing. It's featured right now. I'll be featured for the next few days. I'm selling for a limited time for $20. You know, some ad space in my world. I'll put your ad up, and see if people will come to your website based off my thing. Perhaps they have a creative code thing where if they use my code and get 10% off, something like that. That lets you know that they're coming from my spot. You give me money basically. These are all kinds of opportunities that you can use these things for. And this is pre-Metaverse. We're not in the Metaverse yet. This is what the Metaverse for Epic is going to be built out of. See, we're in this one place here, and you're saying, okay, well, this is just a map in Fortnite. But when I leave here, I can go to, first off, let's like and favorite that, because that's a good map. I can go to any other place, and it is truly infinite. There is no limit on these things. We talk to my friends when they get on the show. What we're talking about is in real life, there's a limited amount of space on the planet, right? We only have but so many places that we could go. A lot of this stuff is party invite from Tony Roney. All right, I need Tony Roney to join me in my party. Reject your invite, sir. And you got to come into my room. Party invite sent to Tony Roney. Now, let's go take a look at Tony Roney on the PlayStation. Can you hear me, Tony Roney? What is your online? Tony AW. Join party. Send message. Invite to game. Oh, so I gotta go into my party chat, right? On the air. Okay, let's invite Tony to this. Get Tony up in here. Invitation sent to Tony. Let's see if we can get Tony in here. How do I describe this?
Hi.
Hey, Steph, how you doing? Thank you for joining the stream. I have Ant coming in here. Uh-oh, he's dancing, but I can't hear him yet. And we're going to discuss some more ways to make money in the Metaverse, and I'm trying to guide him into the chat. Okay, Tony Roney, that's not beneficial. What we're doing right now. I don't think he can hear me either. Let me call him. We'll do the speakers on. Yo, can you hear me chatting?
No, I can't hear nothing.
So you're in Fortnite, but I'm talking inside of the PlayStation chat. So if you hit the PlayStation button on your controller, and you go to Game Base, the little icon with the peoples, you should see the second one with the headphone is called Parties. You might see that live stream with Sammy is a party that you can join.
I'm joining right now.
Can you hear me now on your headset?
No, I cannot.
Is your headset plugged in? Are you muted?
Yeah. I hear the sound coming through from the game, but I don't hear you.
You can't hear me chatting. Are you talking? Do you have your headset on? Can you talk?
Yeah, I have it on.
Let me see if I can switch. Why am I not hearing you?
Right,
How about now?
Yep.
All right, I can hear you too.
Yep. Let's go.
I think we got a show on the road. All right. You know what? I'm gonna take you. Have you ever been in Fortnite Creative?
Yeah, but not really. Let's go.
All right. I say I was talking to everybody. I know Steph's on the stream. I was talking about some of the things that we were discussing earlier, mainly like the different advantages and the other ways that we can use this space to not just Fortnite, but like use the metaverse to make money. We're kind of having a discussion about that earlier. Where do you remember us leaving off when we were talking? What did you really want to talk about?
I guess that in particular, really,
All right, give me a
it's
second
just a
here.
matter of
Go ahead.
how open it is and finding your space.
Yeah, I saw like I was looking online before we got on the stream, and I saw like when you hear those articles where it's like says like Snoop Dogg bought property in the metaverse, or you see Nike bought property in the metaverse. They're talking about multiple places and like basically multiple platforms. So one's called the Sandbox. So like if you wanted to go to Snoop Dogg's place in the Sandbox, we would have to go to like the sandbox.com, make an account, create an avatar there. And then what they're banking on is that everyone's going to go to the sandbox.com. That's why Snoop Dogg bought property there. But that's not like the whole one and only metaverse. That's just their version of the metaverse. Nike, for example, bought property in another metaverse called it's called like Designerland or something, or Disneyland. It's not Disneyland, but it's like Designerland. So like any Blu-ray versus HD DVD like we talked about, if maybe they both can be successful, maybe one of them completely fails, but people are spending thousands of dollars on some properties in those lands, and it may not work out for them. I think that's a big risk when it comes to those kind of things you're seeing. But those articles that everyone's sharing or that those news outlets are pushing are kind of dangerous and deceptive, because if people think I'm gonna go spend $3,000 to build a house next to Snoop Dogg, and then no one goes to that place, they're in for trouble.
That's the thing too, and I wonder if it's more of a product of how everything was going with the crypto coins a few years ago, or a couple years ago, where it seemed like that was the new wave, and it seemed like everyone was really investing into it, and then the air just came out of that balloon, and no one talks about crypto at all anymore.
Yeah, there's always this conversation as if like it's very valuable and you can use it in all these places. And I don't come across it still in my daily life. That's not saying that it won't be valuable more in the future or more useful, but I still have not come across, a bunch of places where like I don't know, I can't go to McDonald's and buy a cheeseburger with crypto, as far as I'm aware, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much, how much worth it is. But this is what I wanted to show people. Like I was talking to him earlier, I found a cool fishing world. Like this inside here, this is what people are doing. They have billboards. They can put words down, but they're doing this all with the gain of I want to be popular on Fortnite. But like that guy who has this cool map called Fishing World. I was saying like if you know a local fishing shop and you're featured, he's featured right now on Epic's Picks. He's with the top 10 games basically across the country. That people who log in are going to see Fishing World. So he could have billboards here with, go to johnsfishing.com or, check out this website or whatever. And he could put billboards in there, and then you convince John's Fishing, hey, I'm featured. Would you want to pay me? Would you pay me $20? Would you pay me $50 to be up here for a week, advertising you inside this game? That could be a way to create revenue for people. So you're not doing it through the Fortnite metaverse yet because it's not set up yet, but you're taking these skills, learning how to use these tools now, and then trying to make money off it in different kind of ways. That's just one idea. And that doesn't involve you spending $3,000 on property in the Sandbox metaverse, which I don't even know if anyone's ever going to use it,
So is it wiser for someone to piggyback off of something like a Fortnite or Epic, where they have the groundwork already there, and you just trying to showcase your skill? Or is it a situation where people try to find their niche in the metaverse somehow else and just grow?
Yeah, I think you could do both. It really depends on like what your skill set is. I think with Fortnite, it's more for the average person, like the person who knows nothing about computer programming, the person who doesn't know about like designing things. Like if you don't know how to make a billboard, this is an item inside of Fortnite. So if I hit triangle on the phone and go to inventory, there's a tab called devices, and then I believe there's a pop-up dialogue device. Here's billboard. So if I hit triangle, it shows you right here, plus you place billboard. I can put the billboard in the world, right? Paste it? Paste it with right trigger. Or I might not be allowed to edit because in here because I'm on this tutorial world. But my point is that you could put the billboard down, and then you could write something if you want to write on there. Where I don't know in the sandbox, like first off, that's not on consoles, so you need a computer. So I think for some people, it's like, well, do you have a good enough computer to build stuff in that world? I don't know, right? If you have a PlayStation, all PlayStations work the same. All Xboxes work the same. You can even buy a refurbished PS4 if you don't have money for like a new PlayStation, and you can get started. Even on, I know, the Xbox, you can hook up a keyboard and mouse to it. So you can, instead of going out and buying $1,000 computer, you can get a refurbished PlayStation for like maybe $150, $200, hook up a mouse and computer to it, and you'll be able to run Fortnite, and you'll be able to create things. Where the sandbox, I don't know. I don't know how fast does your computer need to be. And then and on top of that too, are people even going there? If there's no attention there, like I imagine if that person who has a fishing store also sells fishing products online, well, how much would they pay Epic to be featured in Fortnite? I mean, you can't even do that, but I imagine if they somehow could, it'd be extremely expensive. Like a local billboard, if I want to rent a local billboard in Jersey, I've called them before, it's about $3,000 to $5,000 a month. So if I wanted to be in the top 10, or somewhere on Fortnite's page for a week, that must probably be worth thousands of dollars. However, if you can make a creative map and then convince your local person that they should advertise in your creative map, well then you could charge them anything. You could charge a modest amount of money that's agreeable. If they don't get a lot of traffic, they're not dying, right? I'm not saying make a creative map and go demand $5,000 from your local fishing shop owner. But come up with something that you could work with and advertise that in your map. And at the same time, you're also learning skills. You're learning map design. You're learning how to program. There's programming thing you can do in here. I can show you the fishing world that I'm talking about. Made a game, but that's even more complicated than we really need to go. What I'm saying is that this is just one example of making a place where attention will go and people will be here. I think with the sandbox, like, I don't know anyone that's even going there. I'm sure there's some people logging into it already, but if you want to do double duty, if you can do the sandbox, then do that. If you have Fortnite, go do that. I think that's the way you would look at it. If you actually are making games, then you can go into Facebook space, into their metaverse, and you can be a publisher. I have a publisher account for Oculus, but then you have to learn Unreal. You have to learn how to make a game completely, or make an experience at least for VR or something like that, and then try to get it published. It's not that hard to get it published into the metaverse ecosystem that Facebook, or AKA Meta, has created. But then again, people have to now have an Oculus. They have to go into the store. They have to find your app. So it's like, yeah, how valuable is that? How many people are actually coming into your brand new app if you're a new app maker? Versus, well, I always think the number one place is Fortnite, right? We know millions of people play Fortnite every day.
Realistically, though, how hard is it to get featured with something you create?
So getting featured, that's a good question. Getting featured, let's drop out to the main menu here. So there's a few different ways to look at it. I'll actually go back to the lobby. By Epic. I know, like, that guy, I follow a guy named Ginger J. He's been featured over 10 times. He also makes very good maps. So I can't say it's easy. I think if you put in the hard work, you can achieve it. He's achieved it multiple times. And that's just one person. When we go to creative, if you hit square, I don't know if you can hit square on your system, but if you hit square and you just go look at the maps that are here, you can see that Epic Picks this week, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maps under Epic's Picks. So those are the featured maps. I believe they rotate about once a week. So that's 52 weeks, 6 maps each. Some maps I'm sure get featured more than once. So I mean, the
So
quick
there's
math on that is like,
over 300 maps.
yeah, that might have there. But these are the ones that Epic has handpicked and put here. This is probably the most valuable space, I would say. However, if we go down to, you have trending variety. So this is something that Epic hasn't picked. These are the ones that people are playing. If people are actually playing your maps, you can also earn these spots. And these spots change also, I believe, weekly, maybe even daily. Where these are the ones that are trending that people are actually playing. So variety is the category. When you create your map, you can pick your category. If you hit R1 and go to browse, we can see that there's lots of categories. There's action, casual, combat, deception, and other things like role play, which have nothing to do with fighting. Popular fashion is a cool one. You can like have like a fashion runway show. People make those kind of maps. So it might be really difficult to trend in combat because I imagine most people make their maps in combat. However, if you make a fashion map or a role play map, you might have a better chance of getting not so much featured, but like if people are playing your map, if you go back to Discover, the main tab, you get pushed up into eventually being featured here. And that I think these are the prime spots. I would think it may be less valuable if you say, well, if you click on role play, then you see my map. That's not as valuable. That doesn't mean that's not a place to start. You can keep trying to build your popularity, like you talked about. You still have to get attention for what you're doing. It's not like an easy get rich quick scheme. If you're in the role play section, that's a good place to start. Get your name out there as a map maker or someone who's creating different experiences, and then eventually, work your way to the top and try to get out there and be featured. But I definitely think, considering, like I said, that one guy I follow, Ginger J, he's been featured, I think, over 10 times. He's done things like Harry Potter maps. He's done other cool, like, toy soldier maps and stuff. Good ideas and everything. And he's also very creative. So I'm not going to say it's easy, but I definitely think it's doable if you want to put in that kind of work. And Tony left the party. So I'm sure he will return soon. In the meantime, if you guys are watching the stream, I will throw another map up here that we can watch. Let's check out this first-person map. I don't even know what this first-person stuff is about. Oh, I think he accidentally went into a match. So he's in matchmaking now. We lost him. Maybe we'll hang out here for a second. And maybe do a little locker showcase. Show off the locker. Is the item shop change? Yeah, Star Wars stuff in here. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, the sandbox, these other metaverses, even Facebook and Oculus, like, this is the content people are coming to see. I know people who don't play Fortnite that are logging in this week because they have the opportunity to buy Star Wars skins, original Star Wars skins. This is it was evaluated at about $4 billion when Disney bought it. They've made that money back already. I think there's somewhere around $10 billion since they purchased it. So they made that $4 back and they're making more. To have an opportunity to create things and be anywhere near associated with these kind of properties is going to be beneficial to you. To have someone that can, play as Black Adam and come to your map, that's the reason why people are coming here. Where, Disney owns pieces of Epic. There's like probably people who've invested into Epic. They're going to keep putting their Marvel skins in here. So I feel like it's an uphill battle for the other people that are making metaverses. Not saying that they have no chance, but this is going to be the place. This is the foundation Epic has been laying for the last 5 years. So anyone who's coming after them, they're going to have to compete. Roblox is another one. Roblox has a decent foundation, and they do have a decent following. I'm not going to completely count out Roblox. If someone said, hey, I'm not doing Epic for whatever reason, I'm investing in learning how to make things in Roblox, that's not a bad idea either. It's not for me. I would think maybe that's aimed more at children. If you have more like children's books. If you write children's books, you say, I want to do this. I want to sell T-shirts. I want to advertise my website for my merchandise that are aimed at children. I'm going to do Roblox. That makes perfect sense to me. You could do both. You can maybe have someone else that work on a Fortnite map for you and do a cross-promotion. I've seen people even remake Roblox maps in Fortnite. So if something's popular or something people like what it is in Roblox, I've seen them also remake it in Fortnite. See if we lost Tony. Where's Tony at? Lost somewhere in the metaverse. Oh, we lost Tony. He had to go take the kids. Family first. Oh, that's all good, baby. All right, no big deal. No big deal. Sam, you keep it going. All right. So we lost Tony. He's gone. Yeah. So I mean, these are just different examples I wanted to talk about this first person experience here, right? I mean, what are the other things that go along with this? Do you have local shops and local businesses that you can team with that maybe want to have their things featured in here just to give their local business credibility? So if you have a local business that says, Johnny's, car shop or whatever, as featured in Fortnite, check out our Fortnite creative code, right? Can you imagine going to get your car fixed and seeing that some guy who has a regular, car mechanic shop put up some stuff in his physical location saying, hey, here's the map code for the map that we have in Fortnite. That's something that's cool. What does it cost you? It costs you nothing. You make the map. You can take people in your physical location and try to drive them to your Fortnite map. Why? Well, if people use your creative code, you can make money that way. And realistically, if they spend about $100 in the store, they're getting about $5 of that purchase going to you. So that's not a big money-making thing. But having attention and driving your map up the market, then you can take that map that you are using to promote your store and then use that map to promote other things online. And this is just one avenue. Does your store have a brand? Does Johnny's Automotive have like a cool logo? Do you sell shirts? Do you sell other online items? These are all things that you can put together if you take the time to sit down and work on your digital space. And it's a skill that will only keep giving to you and growing more, right? So let's say you have you say, oh, well, what does it help you to learn Blender? If you learn Blender, it's free to download, free to install, free tutorials. If you learn Blender, you learn basic art design. I'm saying that this is a skill that is only going to become more valuable over the next forever. Like until the unforeseen future where, AI makes all of our 3D items for us and there's no need for... I don't even know if that's possible, right? I don't even know if we'll ever get to something like that. But you're going to have businesses coming to you. Hey, I want to do something. Do you understand how to use these things? You're going to be able to put down in your skill set, not only that you know Fortnite, but if you know how to make Fortnite maps and you can advertise pizzerias. Pizzeria is going to be one of the best ways. There's so many pizza games in Fortnite. If you have a local pizzeria, I log in and see, pizza game or whatever. Why isn't it, Sal's Pizza Works? And you go over there, hey, if you're in the area, order from Sal's Pizza Works in Marlton, New Jersey. If it's the best map ever, the number one map, they can then put that in their store physically, in their actual location. Hey, we're Sal's Pizza Works, number one pizza in New Jersey and in Fortnite. Kids will love that, right? It's just going to make it a cooler place. And this is extremely weird. I'm actually in first person driving in this game. I have no idea how this is even working. This is not real. What is going on? And see, and the game is always evolving and changing. I'm in here almost every day checking on things. And this is such an odd thing. This looks kind of cool. And these are people obviously figuring out, this is not, I don't even think this is a car. I actually think that somehow I'm in some kind of weird box. No, I'm actually in the car. So they must be doing something where the roof is jamming the camera down into the car, which kind of worked. But this is a decent driving experience here. Oh yeah, so it's that roof. It's that weird shaped roof they made. It's forcing the camera. But this isn't even bad. Now, I imagine at some point Fortnite will put a proper first-person mode in here. They had a proper first-person shooter mode. Best time. Instagram, Twitter. Why can't there be a website there? I have to check the Fortnite legal. I don't know if you're not allowed to promote websites in there, but I know if you go to Instagram, you can put a link in your bio and have a link to anything. So, will people do that? That's harder to convert. It might be too many clicks, right? But it depends on what you're making. And it doesn't have to always be for business either. It doesn't have to always be for money. I'm just giving you examples on how this is an underutilized space that people aren't thinking outside the box with. How can you bridge real life business with the things that are possible in this game? There's no reason why this canyon isn't full of advertisements. Businesses have always done this, but before it was exclusive to just big businesses. because you didn't have the tools to make a virtual experience that somebody would want to go into. But now you do. Whatever it is that you want to promote, you can promote through these virtual experiences. I know we have podcasters, right? If you have a podcast and you wanted to feature that, or you worked with or teamed up with, you might even be able to contact people who have already made maps. If I go to SKTTLZ2 on Instagram and I DM them and say, hey, I see that you have a map that's popular. What would it cost me to get you to go put a That Podcast with Samurai logo somewhere? Check out That Podcast with Samurai. How much could I pay you? I know I could pay Instagram $20 for 3,000 impressions. They'll put my ad on Instagram in front of 3,000 people in a certain age demographic. So they can't do that. They can't guarantee that here. I can't guarantee people who are watching this will come check out my podcast. But maybe we could work something out. Maybe it's not 3,000 impressions. Maybe I pay you $20 and you let my logo stay here for 2 months or something like that. It's negotiable, right? But that's something where if people are coming in here and there's no advertisements, and the only advertisements is check out That Podcast with Samurai, if I can convince this creator to do it, would I PayPal him $20? Sure, why not? I do giveaways on my the Samurai Syndicate. If you guys don't know, you go to samurai.com. You have my link there to my Discord. Why not pay this creator to put my link in here, right? And that might bring more streams to my podcast. I might make that money back one day, or at least be able to attract some other cool people, bring them into the Samurai Syndicate, my Discord. Because my real desire, my passion, is to sell science fiction books and science fiction merchandise. But right now, I'm just building. I want to build a community of other creators, people who are doing things that I like. I'm inspired by helping people and seeing people grow. Those are things that I really enjoy. So when I look at this, I'm looking at different opportunities that we have here, right? So Tony can't come back. Ant can't come back. Anthony. He had to go take out the kids, and we still got about 20 minutes of time to fill. So I'm going to give you guys, instead of some menu action, maybe we'll just jump in and do some zero build, because if I go into Save the World, they're going to talk the entire time. Well, they don't talk that much. I guess let's go ahead and Save the World. I feel like Save the World, since it has a story and a mission and a purpose, instead of the randomness of me just fighting, I think that makes for a better stream, especially if a lot of people don't play Save the World. So if you never saw it and you're hanging out, here's a chance to see it. So we're deploying spirit boards through the hotel. That's the thing on the map. We're going to go to the hotel, hit start, switch up my skin that I'm rocking. I'm playing as Santa Claus. Let's do Leia. Let's do Leia in the... I like, since we're doing ghost stuff, I feel like her little... Yeah, her like robe is kind of cool. But she needs a different... We're exercising the demons. What kind of staff would she use? These are the difficult questions I have to ask myself. That looks cool. It's kind of like a Jedi lightsaber, right? Sure. Let's go with that. Yeah. Oh, what's this other thing, actually? I'm sorry. I see this. This looks like a spiritual item. Yes. Now we're really exercising the demons. With her chain gun and handguns, because she is on top of the Santa Claus character, the soldier character I have. And she's going to blow people up. Alright. So, other ways, when we talk about making money in the metaverse, there's another thing you can do. Green screens are pretty common now. You can do virtual films with the Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is free. You can install that into your computer, and you can create your own sets. I can see situations where people in VR, one of the biggest things about VR that people don't realize is when you have a video of someone, the quality of the video and how the cameras record them really make you feel like the person's there, and really highlights their eyes, their mouth. It brings you into a place where, unlike a flat video, because of how your brain perceives the VR, the 3D video, it looks as if you're actually kind of there with a person. And there's this weird thing where your brain, I think, is like, oh, this is how a person looks, but you know you're not really in there. It's a very unique experience. She looks awesome like this. Look at this. Look, she is going in here to exercise some demons. I mean, that's why I got these Star Wars skins. I like that mostly you end up seeing them from the back, and they have these cool looks that apply to other things. She could be a mage. Here she's like, I feel like she's almost like a nun, like coming in here to save everyone from these magical demons. What am I doing? Oh, it's survive. Okay, I'm on the hotel map. I never seen that part of the hotel map. We're gonna put some of these husks down, neutralize them. There you go. So we're talking about, you know, the VR concept using green screen. If you get into Unreal, there's lots of free items. I talk about this all the time on the podcast. I have over $3,000 in free digital assets. There's things like a tavern, right? Like an animated looking tavern. You can set that tavern up, put your camera, pick where the camera is in that tavern, and you can sit down in front of your green screen and record like you're hanging out talking inside of a tavern, a medieval World of Warcraft-like tavern. It's free. You just download it, right? That might not be out this month. That's why you guys got to check out the podcast and listen. I think every about the 8th day, I think, of the month, usually around like the 8th, I think Epic changes the free items they give away. And it's the same stuff they sell, and it's usually costs you maybe $50 or $100 based on how elaborate it is. I add it all to my account because it's just valuable. It's just something that's going to increase in value. Imagine if someone says, well, hey, what would it cost me to make them an environment? And if, when Fortnite gets to Fortnite 2.0 and you can use the Unreal Engine to bring this stuff in, I could just take that environment, that little animated bar, maybe make some tweaks to it, maybe not, maybe throw some logos, some names, some pictures up or something like that of the actual people who own it. Here you go. Pay me $1,000. I'll make you a virtual bar. To a business owner who doesn't know how to get into this space, if you have this skill, if you can negotiate that price, maybe even negotiate more, if they have that in their budget and they're willing to pay that to have a virtual space that represents their location in the real world, and you're going to go put that in Fortnite, then you make some money that way, right? So those are just transactions if you want to just make maps for other people. That's something else that you can do. There's lots of other ways that you can go about using this that people aren't using yet. And that's what I'm talking about on the podcast and on the stream this week. I have to also remember to do my mission or else we'll fail. I don't want my teammate in here to fail. So yeah, these are just some different things I wanted to touch on this week. I want to talk about more of this stuff on the stream next week. Tomorrow, which is Thursday, we have that live stream with Samurai. No, that podcast with Samurai. We're going to talk about some TV shows on there. Kevin Can F Himself, The Serpent Queen, which is another show that I got to see. This chicken. And also we're going to go over some of the different things with VR. One of the things I think is going to really change VR is Apple and their new VR they're working on. I think a big problem right now, VR statistically is very successful. There's a lot of units in the house. Almost as many people who own a PlayStation or use PlayStation have a VR headset. Not the same people. That doesn't mean every gamer has a VR headset. There's a lot of non-gamers that have VR headset, and when measured out, they're both around about 100 million across the globe. 100 million headsets out there that are being used, and about 100 million people using the PlayStation service. That's the figures that I'm measuring against each other. But that's just now. That's not with all the new stuff coming out. In February, the new PlayStation 2 VR comes out for the PS5. I feel like on the PS5, there's not a lot of great PS5 experiences. So I think people who already have a PS5 are going to be much more likely to try out the VR for PS5 because they're looking for something to do with their PS5. I mainly play Fortnite on the PS5, which is kind of ridiculous because I can play that on my Switch also. It looks great on the PS5, but the PS5 doesn't have that many great experiences yet. And that's another thing. If you actually wanted to get fully into developing whole experiences, not games, but just whole experiences, the market is wide open. You have 100 million people that are interacting with Sony's products, yet there's not many VR experiences yet. So you could get in there and make things that are sometimes, some VR experiences are 5-10 minutes long. They're not even really that deep yet. But if you either put these up for free to advertise something, or maybe even sell it for a modest price, a few dollars, if you have just a few 100,000 of those users coming in and willing to try out whatever experience that you're passionate about, something that you thought was a cool idea, then why not take a shot at that? It would cost you what? Just some free time. And if you don't sell your product or people don't like your skill, you learn experience, you get that experience, and then you can move on with those skills and maybe work on someone else's project. You can say, hey, look, I made an app, didn't do well, but look at what I did. Maybe someone will hire you on or pay you to help you with their project. So it's one of those few things where I feel like, we all understand how to use Photoshop now. We all understand how to make videos, how to take pictures. These were not skills that everyone had 15 years ago. And I feel like now it's almost to the point where it's so saturated, it sometimes doesn't even feel like it's a skill. It's like something everyone can do. So if you're willing to put the time aside and get into these things, you're going to have a drastic advantage over people. Like the same people who were charging lots of money for Photoshop, and now you have computer programs that do it for you. You know, a lot of the stuff on the Unreal Store is stuff that you can just have, purchase from other people. You don't have to make everything yourself. A lot of stuff is already being made. You can be one of the people that are making those things. Oh, I've done that mission. We got to get outside and kill some of these husks real fast. Make sure we lock this down. I don't want this mission to fail for the person I'm in the room with, so let me help him out. One second. I'm Princess Leia on a hoverboard fighting zombies. This is what I'm talking about here. These are things that are not going to get old. This is the stuff that people are going to be doing for the next 5-10 years. And it comes in waves. When they come out with their first person mode, it's going to have a bunch of people come try it out again, right? They did the no build mode. That they've proven that brought back a bunch of different kinds of players to no build. And people that didn't want to try before, they're checking it out now. They're going to have the first person mode eventually for the cars, and then they're going to keep on adding more and more mechanics. I think when you have the Fortnite 2.0 mode, they've been giving away templates to create RPG games and other kind of games on the Unreal Store for over a year now. I have a bunch of systems where you can basically load up the entire system. The game is pretty much already in place, like a basic RPG game. Add skins, add different weapons and stuff, all things that you can purchase or you might already have for free based on how much you claim those items. Stitch it all together, call it something, come up with a story, make it a little unique. When people log in and they see that you're the first person that's doing that, or you want one of the first people that are doing that, they're gonna try it out. They're gonna use your creative code because it's something different. You can make some money that way. But the big way I'm saying to make money is make sure that you are then tying this in, sell some ad space. That's pretty much the way to go with all these things. Get people to then go check out your other stuff. Build a community around it. Have people checking out what you're doing. These are some other ideas that you're not seeing people execute with. I would love to see more people taking advantage of this spot in here. And Epic will probably pay attention to that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they start putting in ways that you can charge people directly through your map and stuff like that. Like when I'm here, I can already do the thing that activates their creative code. But like, why can't I, send a link to my Instagram? Why can't I send a link to my inbox for, their newsletter or something like that? I would definitely see Epic, since they've been very friendly across all their content platforms on helping people make money, helping people get involved, because they make a cut. It's not they're doing like a charity. They're making a cut off the things that you're doing. So if they're creating an ecosystem that's driving people to bring more people in, that benefits Epic. And then it benefits you because if you're one of the first people in here, this is the easiest way to get into the metaverse. Once you start doing this stuff and you understand what it is you're messing with, then you can then take that and go to other places. So let's say you find out, no, the sandbox, that's actually where it is. Well, you're already going to have basic ideas on how to do some simple coding, some simple computer logic, laying out 3D items. Anything you make in Blender, you're going to be able to take anywhere with you. So if you actually get into, actually sculpting 3D items, and that, again, too, you can do that from templates. You don't have to always think of it as, oh, I don't have an, artistic bone in my body. There's templates they put out there. You just go in there, you modify them. There's tons of tutorials. Once you start learning how to do it, there's all different kinds of things that you can do. We're going to end the podcast, I always mix up the stream and the podcast. We're going to end the stream once we're done here. And yeah, if you guys are interested more on the topic, that podcast with Simi Rye comes out tomorrow, Thursday, every Thursday. We're going to touch on PSVR 2, Apple VR, and the Metaverse, what that means. And then we'll do our media rundown, where I go over a few things going on in gaming, some things going on with TV shows. I got some hot takes about Kevin can F himself. I saw the season finale. I'm not really that happy with it. But Serpent Queen, I was happy with it. So you got a little bit of A, a little bit of B. And and I talk about Century, which we streamed that last week. I don't think I'll be streaming it again. I'm going to try to finish my Battle Pass for that, but I'm not really that crazy about it anymore. It's a good game, but I feel like it's a little flat. But I get more in depth in that tomorrow on the podcast. But I thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like this kind of content, you want to see me do more stuff talking about the metaverse and more ways to make money in the metaverse, we can get some more examples. I can bring some more information into the stream next week. And if you guys want to hop on to PlayStation and do a party chat function like I did with Tony this week, let me know. You can join my party chat. It's called that live stream with Samurai. And yeah, and while we play and stuff, we can talk. We can go around looking at things and have a conversation. That would be cool. So you guys take care. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast every week and checking out the live stream this week. I'm trying to recover. You see what I did there? Yeah, you guys have a great week and enjoy. Peace.